Greetings, EBC Greenhouse family. This is Minister Eric. Family, I want to know if you can relate to this story. It's Friday evening. We have a school project that's due on Monday morning. So you tell yourself, buckle down this weekend. Stay focused, stay on task, stay on track. Eliminate all distractions so you can successfully get this project turned in on Monday morning and receive a great grade. So, you're doing well. But occasionally, cell phone is going off and you're responding to it. Social media is going off and you're responding to it. We even find ourselves having a snack. But not only are we snacking, guess what else we're doing? You guessed it, watching television. And before we know it, it's Sunday evening and you're scratching your head saying, man, where did all the time go? So despite your best intentions, despite having a made up mind to be focused, to do your best job on this project, we find ourselves falling short. And even though we genuinely wanted to make the right choices, we sabotage ourselves, find ourselves not having the project completed and falling short once again. The struggle that I'm describing to do the right thing, to follow through is real. Matter of fact, it's so real, the Apostle Paul wrote about it. One would think that in receiving Jesus Christ, we would automatically just make the right decisions. We would automatically do what Jesus would want us to do. But no, that's not the case. So many of us can identify with Paul's struggle because he too struggled to do the right thing at times. Instead of doing things Jesus' way, Paul found himself doing things his way. Raise your hand if you too can identify with Paul. Raise it high. Because like Paul, we too find ourselves doing things our way. At times, we're like that jingle, that advertisement that says, have it your way. Or what's that other one that says, just do it? See, the dilemma that I'm talking about, it's the result of the fall of humanity that's described in Genesis chapter 1 through chapter 3. The story of how humankind broke the world that God created for us by choosing to follow our own plans instead of following God's plans. This ugly, sinful nature that's still in us, even though we're Christians, oftentimes causes us to be disobedient. And it shows up in brokenness in our world. It shows up in broken relationships. It shows up even in our hearts at times when we're cold and lack of compassion for others, lacking that empathy or sympathy for others. Paul explains this struggle between this sinful nature and our saved nature. He explains it well, and I want you to see it for yourself. As a matter of fact, we find Paul at his wit's end in Romans chapter 7 when he's identifying and explaining this struggle, this point of brokenness that he himself encounters in his life. So, as I mentioned earlier, I want you to read Romans chapter 7, verse 1 through 25. And in reading these verses, I want you to answer the following 5 questions. Question number 1, why do you think Paul felt so strongly about this struggle in his life? Question number 2, in what situations do you see this struggle that Paul describes within your own life? Question number 3, how do you usually respond when you find yourself doing what you don't want to do? Question number 4. Why do you think that we have the tendency to give in to what we don't want to do, even though we know God has a better plan for us? And lastly, question number 5. How do we win this struggle? How do we overcome not doing our way and surrendering to do it Jesus' way? Those are the 5 questions for this weekend. That's all for now. I want you guys, you young ladies, to stay safe, stay well, and until next time, peace.